Fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Niggas laugh until they hit with my official jab. Crack smoke is the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghost writers, they get the floss, what you could have had.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I go by the name of Caesar, a.k.a. Mr. Sneaker Out, and you're tuned in to Apparently This Happened. I appreciate one and all for tuning in. And today, we have another update with this brewing 20 versus 1 beef that's going on, the so-called 20 versus 1, what feels like a 20 versus 1. But we have a new entry in the billings right now, and Rick Ross has just dropped a joint called Champagne Moments or something like that. And let me tell you, man, not only is the joint smooth, but there's certain things in there that have been thrown in there that, is just questionable, but then it's kind of typical, okay? Now, in what I've been listening to, one of the things that I did hear is his reference to, Drake's penmanship, my bad. Drake's penmanship and him, the ghostwriter, is actually living his life or something to that regard, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, and then there's one mention about him, doing augmentation to his body, and that's why he's wearing certain things, which is like, it's whatever, all right? Those are inside things that people in Hollywood and, upper echelon of, the industry will happen to know about each other because they see the same surgeons and all this good stuff. So that's neither here nor there. But one of the things that I realized is that at the end of the day, when it comes to this whole thing, right, I don't think people have ever been happy with the fact that Drake is in the game. Drake is in the game, and he's regarded as an honorary member if you look at it, right? So when they look at Drake, I really feel like they look at him like an honorary member, even if he's he's a black man or he's mixed or whatever, however you want to paint it, because I don't want to get canceled, and nowadays you can say anything and get canceled, but he's a mixed individual, and at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, right, I just look at it and I say to myself, wow, man, the reality is that these guys just, like, genuinely, I don't think liked him to begin with. And to be realistic and to be quite honest, I think they just tolerated him because of the position that he had. So when Rick Ross is alluding to the fact that, yeah, we were on your records and we did records with you because we were giving you relevance, we were trying to, make you authentic, I can understand where he's coming from, because the most relevant point, or one of the points that people make, I don't want to say the most relevant, but one of the points that people make is that, hey, when it comes to Drake, his upbringing and the way he came up is not quite the same as the upbringing and the come up as everybody else in the industry. You see some people in the industry, when you grow up with situations where you drink sugar water, you eat sugar water and bread, moldy bread with no butter, all that good stuff, man, roaches and rats, and you come up from Section 8 housing, public housing, etc. There's a certain relatability to guys who have come up in that way, because they come from the same struggle, right? So when you see that guy driving a Rolls Royce and you're driving a Rolls Royce or your Bentayga, whatever it may be, there's that mutual respect because you guys came from the same environment. You survived the same environment. And you're successful now coming from that environment, right? But when people look at Drake, they feel like, for the most part, they look at him like a silver spoon kid. A lot of the times, it's almost like the guy on the ball court when Rick Ross referenced Drake being the kid in the park, right? The white kid in the park, because he kept on referring to him as white boy, right? Now, with that being said, I kind of compare it to the dude who's nice, who has nice handles in the ballpark, but just happens to be white. And he has to work extra hard. He gets chin checked. He gets fouled and everything. He probably has to get into a couple fist fights and all that just to prove his relevance, or to prove that, I'm worthy of being on this court just like the rest of you guys, right? So I look at that and I look at Drake in the same way, that he feels that he is worthy of being in the game. He is a worthy opponent. Not only does he, or has he, amassed more money than everybody in the industry who's probably been, or who have been in the industry longer than him. He's outlived and outshined. He's outperformed. He's gotten more accolades, Grammys, you name it. So at the end of it all, I think this is the point where he proves his battle testing. He proves how strong his armor is. He proves how good his pen is. He proves that he is the ultimate. all right, they labeled me the king, like, you know, the king, like similar to Michael Jackson, beating Michael Jackson for the number ones. But I'm now about to show you guys the hip hop side. I'm about to show you guys I'm not just a pop star. I get busy on this microphone and I'm about to take you guys out. That's what's about to happen. So with the Rick Ross diss, man, with him alluding to, you know, Drake changing his nose because he doesn't want to be like his dad, it's like I feel the angle is similar to what Pusha T did, which is trying to touch on a man's vulnerability and insecurities, right? Now, do I know this for certain that these are vulnerabilities and insecurities with Drake? No, I don't. But if I'm as an outsider, let me say, if I'm observing what's going on and I'm hearing what Rick Ross is saying, the one thing I'll take is when somebody changes something about themselves is because they're insecure about whatever it may be. And we all have insecurities about ourselves, you name it, right? So I say that to say this thing is heating up. A$AP Rocky also said some stuff. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what happened or what Drake did for everybody to be so upset with him. The one thing that really stood out is Rick Ross said, yeah, I specifically unfollowed you because you sent a cease and desist over to French Montana when he had his project going, trying to mess up his little situation. And that kind of, I think, messed up his play because they might have done a joint together or there might have been a sample with Drake on it or whatever. And he could have just cleared it as usual. But for whatever reason, he didn't. So Rick Ross felt some type of way about that. So Rick Ross has a tendency to do these things. He did it with the situation with Birdman and Wayne. He'll intervene, he'll interject, he'll step in, especially if he feels that his homies are being done the wrong way. He stepped in for Khaled when Khaled was having an issue with, I guess, 50 Cent. And I think he felt like 50 Cent was trying to bully him, sending camera crews to where his mom worked and all that. And that's when he put out Mafia music. So this is getting crazy right now, man. So go and look out for that joint, man. It's called Champagne Moments. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put up a snippet over here or if I'll get copyrighted. I don't know. But yeah, if anything, I might even just send you guys a link or put a link in the description so you can listen to it for yourselves. And you can come back. I don't care how long it is, man. It's a great debate. I love to talk about this stuff. And we could chop it up and figure it out together. I go by the name of Caesar. This is Apparently This Happened. I appreciate one and all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will be back with another one. All right? Do remember, don't chase the number, chase the dream. And yeah, one. Don't chase the number, chase the dream. That been my decree.